P-A-S-C-A-L. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild. Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Good evening. Good morning, everybody, and good afternoon. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there, enjoying your day, making it positive. Hopefully you wrapped up your day and it's been a positive one as well, as it should be. You deserve it, okay? We got some things to talk about, y'all. We got some things to talk about today. So it is time to get comfy, and we got to have a serious conversation, y'all. We need to have a serious conversation tonight. Yes, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna laugh a little bit. We're gonna chuckle a little bit, but we definitely have some things that we need to talk about and get down to the nitty gritty on some things, because there is something else that's been going on out here in these streets that I'm going to be talking about tomorrow morning. And I know it's trending hard right now. It may not be something you guys are interested in talking about. But I do think it's a conversation that needs to be had. And it kind of ties into this information here. It has to do with dates. It has to do with understanding signs. Period. When somebody says no, they really mean no. Period. So there's a lot that we need to talk about. Like I said, it kind of ties to this. It really does not. But it makes me think of another topic that I want to talk to you guys about tomorrow. Again, we talk about everything on this channel. We don't only talk about the Idaho Ford tragedy. We don't only talk about BK and all that, as you can see as of the most recent shows we've been doing recently. But there is something that we need to talk about, which I'll talk about here in a little bit for sure. Okay. And I will probably ask you guys in a little bit if this is a conversation that you want to hear tomorrow morning. Actually, I just asked you just now. Look at how I do that. See how slick I am. I'll ask you guys when I tell you guys what the story is in just a minute. Okay. But I do appreciate all y'all being here. So before we get into it, because like I said, we're here to listen to some very interesting information revolving around BK. Okay. We've had a little bit of a break from him. We're back at it again with some more information. All right. So do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Send it past 300 likes as you guys start to file in. That really does mean a lot. All right. A like doesn't cost a thing. It only helps. Okay. It only helps this channel. Helps this video get out there as best as it possibly can. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button. If you haven't done it yet, I don't know what to tell you. You're missing out on the best party, the best family on these YouTube streets. And obviously all the other platforms that we're streaming live on right now as we speak. So anyway, it's time to get into some things, guys. It's time to have a conversation. Man, it's interesting how we live in these worlds now, in these times, that I feel that some people just don't know how to catch a clue. Now, I'm not sitting here saying anything. I'm not sitting here saying that BK did anything super terrible. We got a ton of TikTok videos that we're going to be looking at. We got an account from a woman that went on a date with Bryan Kohberger several years ago, actually. And from what she says, how she describes him, it's very interesting. Okay. The date is very interesting indeed. All right. And for those of y'all who don't know what I'm talking about, Bryan Kohberger, okay, the man that we have been talking about for a solid week and a half or so. Here's his mugshot. This is the man that is being going to be standing trial very, very soon and being charged with many counts of M and burglary, okay, surrounding the tragedy of the Idaho Four. Now, those Idaho Four, they were college students. Three of them out of the four lived in this house a few steps off of the University of Idaho. November 13th, very early in the morning, allegedly, Bryan Kohberger went into the house and savagely did the most unthinkable thing you can think of to four students. Their names are Ethan, Xana, Kaylee, and Madison. All of them lost their lives in a short, less than half an hour. Now, we've all been diving deep into the probable cause affidavit. We've been looking at everything, trying to find out exactly why he did this, how he did this, and so on and so on. We have been scratching our heads trying to figure things out, right? But of course, another part of it is we've all been trying to figure out, who is this dude? Who's Bryan Kohberger? We've all been looking at so many different things. People have been diagnosing him. You know, a lot of people are doing their not only just armchair detective work, they're also becoming armchair psychiatrists, breaking this guy down, basically saying, oh, I know what type he is. He's this type, so on and so forth. We've been hearing all kinds of crazy stuff, right? But we really haven't heard anything from anybody else. We haven't heard anything from, you know, we've been hearing from classmates, but no one that really knew him intimately, at least, right? Now, what I found very, very interesting, I saw this just a few hours ago, and I was like, you know what? As soon as I get done with this Edgar Allan Poe movie that I'm watching on Netflix, I'm going to jump on here and I'm going to chop it up with the fam about this. Someone did finally speak up and speak out. Let's take a look at it, shall we? Blammo. A woman describes her alleged Tinder date with the Idaho 4 suspect, Bryan Kohberger, 7 years ago. And this says, he kept trying to touch me and said she had good birthing hips. I ain't never heard that before as a I ain't never heard that as a compliment before. Damn, girl, you got some birthing hips. You know what I'm saying? Let me help you put a baby in you. You know what I'm saying? How does that work? Now, mind you, this was 7 years ago. 7 years ago. So we're going to hear a little bit of this. We're going to hear this story. There's a lot that we got to look into. And this is gross. Yeah. Lisa White said, oh, Lordy, sicko. Yeah, this is sick. This is bloody sick. Okay? So let's get into it. Brooke said, what a compliment. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm surprised she didn't sit there and work for that ring on her finger. You know what I'm saying? Damn, girl, you got some birthing hips. Scrumptious. That just makes no sense. Zero. But I digress. Let's continue. Them birthing hips. So let's get into this, shall we? I'm sorry. We're here to have some fun, okay? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. So it says here, and we got her Twitter, her TikToks and all that. We got a gang of TikToks from her. And like I said, I'm playing these for a specific reason. We're getting a better idea of who Bryan Kohberger at least came across with other people, let alone, more importantly, how he came across with the opposite sex that were not his mama, that was not his sister, a woman that he had romantic interest in. How did he respond? Right? How did he react? How did he treat this woman? Okay? Was he respectful? Was he a gentleman? Or was he an absolute Jerk. Tyler, whoa, Tyler, damn, Tyler. Damn, girl, thicker than a snicker. I mean, that's basically what he's trying to say, though, if you really think about it. Okay? Birthing hips. Okay? 1980, Nicoletta just said, dear God, birthing hips? If that does not scream disturbed, antisocial craziness, I don't know what is. You know, yeah, I don't know anybody else that would actually, who would say that? It sounds so clinical. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, you're biologically ready to have my children. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't go up to a woman and say that. You feel me? But let's get into this. Most ridiculous thing. You're thicker than a snicker with them hips. Ridiculous. Let's get into this. A woman who claimed to have gone on a date with accused Idaho University monster Bryan Kohberger 7 years ago said he kept trying to touch her and told her she had good birthing hips. The woman, I'm sorry. That's real. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to hold it in as much as I can because I'm trying to be professional, but like, F it at the same. Okay, let's get into this. Birthing hips. How do you, why? Okay. The woman named Haley, God bless her. God bless her. Posted a TikTok video and recounted her alleged brief courtship with the suspected monster. The clip, posted Monday, has now been viewed more than 1 million times. Obviously, everybody their mama has been looking into this, trying to figure out what this man was like on a regular basis. What was this guy like? Was he a prick? Sorry, I said it. Was he a prick? Did he have weird tendencies? Were there any telling signs within this date? You know what I'm saying? Did he say anything weird? Was he eating strange stuff? Did he say, like, I like pets? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This weird stuff. Like, I like to lather myself in peanut butter in the middle of the night. You know what I'm saying? Just random stuff. I don't know why he's petting a cat. I don't know why he's doing this, but he's petting a cat right now. Okay? So just ride with me. Let's continue. So that video has been seen and viewed more than 1 million times. Okay? Speaking about the criminology student, 28, she claimed we matched on Tinder. Poor girl. Oh, poor girl. We talked for a couple hours, and then he was like, hey, you want to go to the movies with me tonight? I was like, sure. So we went to the movies. Don't worry, we are going to get to the TikTok videos for sure. And of course, if you forget what he looks like, this is what he looks like. Okay? Interesting fella. The woman said her contact with alleged monster was very brief, lasting no more than 24 hours, and it, of course, occurred 7 years ago. She said she did not recall the movie she and Kohberger saw together, but they ended up back at her college dorm, where, according to her, Kohberger invited himself inside. Now, let me say this to ladies and to the ladies and the gentlemen, okay? Let me just make this abundantly clear, like, right the F now. If you go on a Tinder date or date, I mean, these apps are crazy, guys. And I'm going to get into about how crazy these apps are in a little bit. But if you ever go on a date with a person and say the date doesn't go off as well as you want it to be, it's just all right. The date is just all right. Okay? You don't need to let the guy in or that person in. You really don't. Because unfortunately, it's like a vampire. As soon as you let them into your house, it's a wrap. It's terrible. Now it's going to be the struggle of trying to get that person out if you don't like their presence. And if you weren't vibing with him in the beginning, please, bye. Yeah, no. I'll call you. Bye and leave. Okay? That's it. Plain and simple. Now, I'm not sitting here trying to blame anything. Nothing, from what we understand so far, nothing bad happened to this young woman, thank God. But at the same time, there's people out here that just don't get the clue. So by letting them in, then suddenly they're thinking, oh, so there is a chance. And if you let them in the house, that's also giving off another vibe. And I'm just saying this out loud to the ladies too. I'm just, ladies, you let a dude into your home. He's thinking maybe there's more of a chance now. The odds have gone up. You know what I mean? It went from 0% because for a fact if he walked in, if you said, bye, no, I'm going to call you, slammed the door in his face, 0 chance of knocking the boots. No chance. No chance of doing that. 0, right? But then if you go, yeah, sure, come on in. Yeah, sure. Guys instantly think, or a person will instantly think, oh, the odds have knocked up a little bit. Just a peg. I'm not sitting here saying 100% we are going to be in bed doing the sideways samba. No. But instantly dudes are going to start thinking, oh, but there is a chance. Cool. If you don't want that, if you don't want any of that drama, don't let them in. Let the right one in. Remember that movie? No one knows it. Maybe you do. I don't know. But let's continue this, okay? Please, ladies and germs. Make that finite decision at the end of the date. If he's going up to have some coffee or a nightcap, you let him up those stairs, that says something else. Just saying really quick. Okay? It's just saying something else. But like I said, not knocking this girl at all. Just be sure to stand your ground and say, no, thank you, bye-bye. See you later. So he allegedly proposed watching another movie, which she agreed to. Now, again, let me say this too. When you're watching movies, you're doing the Netflix and chill, babies. It's Netflixing and chilling. You know what that means. You already know what that means. Period. You already know what that means. You already know what that means. Okay. But during the second viewing, she claimed he kept trying to touch me. Not inappropriately, just like trying to tickle and like rub my shoulder and stuff. Yeah, he was trying to put moves. He was trying to put his moves like Jagger on you, okay? He literally was trying to do something. Trying, at least. And you weren't feeling his advances. But as soon as you decide to watch another movie, he probably was thinking, we're not going to watch this movie, right? So this is an ample time to make my move. So far, I don't see anything bad with this. Like as far as creepy. So far, I don't see creepy yet. Not yet. Okay? And the tickle thing is a weird, I don't know. That's like the tickling thing is a weird, I don't know, like a high school thing. I don't know. It's very weird. All right. I'm trying to get an excuse to tickle her. You know what I mean? It's very awkward and weird and very, very, very juvenile, in my personal opinion. But let's continue. She proceeded to ask him why he was touching her, which caused him to get super serious, she said. Don't worry, we're going to get to the video. I'm not, he then said, according to her. You are, though, she recalls retorting, saying that BK was attempting to gaslight me into thinking that he didn't touch me, which is weird. She clarified that she did not feel danger and wasn't scared of him, but did want him to leave after a time, which led her to pretending to throw up in the dorm hall's bathroom. She then claimed BK followed her to the bathroom and stood outside the door, which she also thought was weird. Now, I'll go back to that in a second. The staged puking episode, she said, was her attempt to get him to leave, mostly because I am socially awkward. I don't know how to ask him to leave, or I didn't know how to ask him to leave, she said. Now, real quick, she's in the bathroom puking and all that, acting like she's puking and stuff. And he's standing outside the door because, I mean, I'm assuming he's trying to be a gentleman, just make sure she's doing okay. I'm like, whoa. You know what I mean? What in the world? How are we in this conversation talking about him being a gentleman? This is an oxymoron. But you see what I'm saying, though, right? This was 7 years ago, before maybe he started having a lust for Red. I don't know. Allegedly still. But it sounds to me that he was standing outside the door trying to be a nice guy. And I know some people are going to try to like chop it up and screw it and flip it up and smack it up and flip it and rub it down and make it seem like it's something else. Like he was just there, just, panting, breathing heavily, just waiting to do something sinister to her. Nah, I don't think so. I think he was just there trying to be, he's also understandably socially awkward as well, as what we've heard from many, many people. Sounds like he was just trying to be a nice guy whilst she is faking that she's sick on the porcelain throne. And he just couldn't catch the clue. You see what I'm saying? He just didn't get the clue. Period, point blank. Let's keep going. So, yeah, I didn't know how to ask him to leave. Okay, ladies, let me say this again. I didn't know how to ask him to leave. Ladies and fellas, real talk. You don't want somebody in your private domicile. Tell them to kick rocks. Just leave. Thank you. It's been great. Blah, blah, blah. You can even say, I got an early morning. I got things to do. Sorry. Shoot, she's in college. I got a huge paper to finish tomorrow morning, and I got to get up super early. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. No, I'll call you. Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, bye. Click. You know what I mean? Slam the door in his face. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Chuck up the deuces and kick rocks. She didn't have to do all this extra stuff, and I understand awkwardness and all that stuff, but at the same time, if you want somebody to leave, tell them to leave. Period, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Eventually, he sent her a message on the dating app that said he was leaving, which meant her plan had worked. Then about an hour later, he texted me and said, I had good birthing hips. So I never talked to him again, she concluded. Yeah. He really said, you got nice birthing hips. I really don't know how anyone in the world, I don't know any woman. I mean, maybe some of y'all, I don't know how y'all rock. Okay, ladies, I don't know how y'all rock, but I ain't never ever seen a woman get turned on or feel that telling that woman has good birthing hips, I've never seen a woman take it as a compliment. Like, never in my life. I ain't never seen a woman go, stop it. I've never seen that. I'm sorry. Good birthing hips. Okay. All right. Okay. So we got a slew of videos that we need to look at. These TikToks. Obviously, she had quite a bit to say within all of this. Understandably, she would tell this story. because there's plenty of people out here that want to know a little bit more of that side of Bryan. Was he a smooth operator? You know what I'm saying? Was he Sade up in this piece? Just a smooth operator, or was he not? Clearly he wasn't. Good birthing hips? Like, what is she, a thoroughbred? Like, what is that? Okay? So let's hear from her, from the video itself, the video that is being shared and looked at well over 1 million times right now. So hit the number 1. Let me know you guys can hear it, and let's rock and roll. Birthing hips.
Date with Bryan. Then to women. Well, one lady came forward and said she had a date with Bryan. Then,
hey, it's me, the girl that went on a Tinder date with Bryan. A lot of people have been trying to dox me, specifically on Reddit, but I never thought the comments that I made on Hobot News would make it to TikTok or Reddit or literally anything. But here we are. So I thought I would make this because a lot of people are just saying things that are not true at all.
I will continue, but let me just say this really, really quick. First off, I appreciate her coming through and saying these things and telling her side of the story and giving us shedding a little bit more light on what kind of person Bryan Kohberger was 7 years ago. I know that's not the same as somebody who may have been talking to him a couple days before said tragedy, but at least it gives us an idea of who this guy was in the perspective of a woman, because clearly his focus were on women and putting harm towards these women, period. Okay? And of course, Ethan just, unfortunately, and I think Xana as well, were just in the piece, in the part of this, okay, of this tragedy. It's terrible. But one thing I have to say, though, is she posted a comment on some site that other people are on that are obsessing. People are obsessing over this case, over the mystery. For a long time, we're all sitting there going, who did it? Oh my God, what does it all mean? All this stuff that was going on. Everybody was obsessed with this, y'all. Obsessed. Then she goes on to some rant. I ain't never heard this website thing that she's talking about, but she goes on this chat forum and says, yeah, I went on a date with him once. What do you think is going to happen? No disrespect to Haley. None. Zero. Okay? Give her some respect, but you don't think people are going to be flooding you with questions that are going to be challenging you, asking you, for real though? Is that for real? Come on. Come on. I believe her. Okay? I do believe her. But let's be real. People are going to start flooding. They're obsessed. They're obsessed with the information. They're looking for any little piece, any morsel, any little breadcrumb to satiate their true crime hunger. Okay? So of course they're going to sit there and go, and run towards it. It's something, because there's been nothing, really. There's been nothing for days. Really, there's been nothing for days. If there was something going on, we'd be talking about it. Trust and believe. So, of course, people are going to ask questions, but the rest is a little extreme. I'm going to let her continue.
My interactions with Bryan were very brief. I don't know much about him. My total interactions with him were like 24 hours. We matched on Tinder. We talked for a couple hours, and then he was like, hey, you want to go to the movies with me tonight? And I was like, sure. So we went to the movies. Honestly, I don't even remember what movie we saw. We ended up going back to my dorm, and he kind of invited himself inside. I thought he was just going to drop me off, but that was not the case. He kind of invited himself inside, and I was just like, okay, I went along with it. So he wanted to watch another movie on Netflix, and I said, sure. He kept trying to touch me, not like inappropriately, just like trying to tickle me and like rub my shoulders and stuff. And I was like, why are you touching me, or what are you doing? And
Come on, guys. We all know the story. Okay. You get into the crib, you're hanging out, you're doing your thing. And let me just say this. I bet you $10 he put a movie in that he had already been seen. That he already seen 17 times over. I guarantee you that. He wasn't interested in watching the movie. He was interested in putting the moves on Haley. Period. That's what he was trying to do. Now, one thing I want to say, too, that was said earlier. Yes, people were trying to dox her. Now, that is bad, okay? I get it that everybody is obsessed. Everyone's focused. Everyone wants to find out what's going on. Everyone wants to know the truth, and everyone wants a more three-dimensional understanding of Bryan Kohberger. But y'all, especially y'all in the nosebleed seats that are doing this kind of thing, stop doxing these people. Stop it. It's not helping the situation. It's hindering people from coming out and actually speaking their truth, speaking their side of things. People who are living next door that may have seen something even more, that have more details, etc. Please, guys. This is the reason why we don't see people jumping out and saying, oh, yeah, I was just there and I saw this, that, and the third. People are scared. Some of y'all are savages out here and give zero damns about the safety of these people that are coming out and speaking, having the bravery, the courage to speak out. I'm saying this. Stop. Just stop, please. Because the more people who step forward and speak out, the more we get closer to the truth of what really happened there. And yet, let me say this too. Just because we have BK behind bars right now doesn't mean that we know everything that went down. There could possibly be another monster out there in these streets that was a part of it. We don't know. So we got to be more cordial and more respectful of these people that are stepping forward, because I can only imagine how scary this is.
And he would just like get super serious, and he's like, I'm not. And I'm like, you are though. And he's like, I'm not touching you. Kind of like trying to gaslight me into thinking that he didn't touch me, which was weird. But then I was like, I'm just going to run to the bathroom quick. And he was like, okay. And then he followed me to the bathroom, which I thought was kind of weird. So like in the dorm, there was like a shared bathroom. He didn't go in with me, but like he stood outside the door, and like, I don't know, I just thought that was weird. And I was like, I need to get this dude to leave. Like, just not into it. So I proceeded to pretend to throw up, to get him to leave. It wasn't because I was scared of him or like thought he would hurt me if I asked him to leave. It was just mostly because I'm socially awkward, didn't know how to ask him to leave. So that's what I did. He ended up messaging me on Tinder that he was going to go. And I was like, awesome. My plan worked. And then about an hour later, he texted me and said I had good birthing hips. So I never talked
to women. Well,
oh, yeah. Them birthing hips, girl. Yeah. Birthing hips, y'all. Birthing hips. That's what he said to her. I don't know how that even... you know what? And I'll say this too, just in case. If this is entirely true, okay? if this is entirely true, because you never know nowadays, people are faking audio and people are throwing out other audio that I didn't even bother to talk about or address on here. You know, you never know nowadays. People do put out certain things, certain stories and all that just for clout. You do anything for clout. You know what I'm saying? So you never know. But at the same time, I will say that I do feel that this is real. I do feel that what she's saying is the truth and that it's not just some fabricated ish. It was a date that happened 7 years ago. It's not like she's sitting there saying he was acting like Hannibal Lecter, just walking around being strange. Sounds like it was just a regular date that just didn't go the way maybe he had planned. His moves, like Jagger, were trash, very high school. Let me rub your shoulders really quick, like he's a high school theater nerd. Let me rub your shoulders really quick. Come on, you know what I mean? Oh, I'm tickling you. No, I'm not tickling. I'm not touching you. Like, I don't know. To me, it sounds like a very sad, very poor attempt at trying to get in them jeans or with her birthing hips, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into some more. We got some more videos.
People in the comments are crazy. So a lot of people are.
So real quick, this one says, get this to the beginning. Gotta love how the internet keeps ripping apart everyone except him. And that's one piece I do think is very true. Interesting that everyone goes in on everyone else that stepped forward and spoke about anything except the man himself. Well, I mean, we've been having our fun. Let's keep it real. We have been having our fun. But that's a good point. You know what I'm saying? That's a very good point. So let's continue. Yeah. CJS, Mandy, he was only 21 though. Like, you know, he's growing into being a young man. Like, he don't know nothing. And I don't know, even though I'm not trying to defend a monster here, but I'm just saying 7 years ago, he may not have been fully developed to do what he ended up doing. 7 years is a long time, y'all, to change as well, to grow into whatever he grew into. Okay? Allegedly what he grew into. But like I said, this is just interesting stuff. Let's just continue. Take a look at this. And do me a favor, guys. Do not forget to hit that like button down below. That would really, really mean a lot. Let's get it past 600 likes. A like doesn't cost a thing. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. All right? If this is your first time checking out this channel, it'd be greatly appreciated. All right? And if you feel like it, you can also join by hitting, you can also support this channel by hitting that join button down below. That would really, really mean the world to me. Okay? Let's get into this video.
People in the comments are crazy. So a lot of people are upset that I don't remember what movie I saw with Bryan. I challenge you to remember a movie that you saw on a random night 7 years ago. So what I can remember is that when he mentioned going to the movie, that he already had a movie in mind. I remember it was some kind of action movie, and I can tell you that I did not care to see it, but I went anyway, and that was that. I want to say it had Bruce Willis in it, but don't quote me on that. A lot of people are also overlooking the fact that this was 7 years ago. Yes, I am currently married. I started dating my now husband in August of 2015. My now husband and I broke up from November of 2015 and March of 2016. And in between that time, I went on a couple Tinder dates, and one of them was with Bryan. I'm not a swinger, and I am not a polygamist. No hate to those that are, but just to clear that up.
You know what's interesting? What's interesting about this is that people are actually asking about her, like her past, or like I guess she's trying to respond to certain people that were deep diving and all that stuff, talking about like, oh, well, the math isn't math, and because your husband and all that stuff, you know what I mean? So I guess she's trying to talk about those things as well. And yeah, just very interesting. Very, very interesting. But let's continue with this. Let's continue.
Also, a lot of people are shaming me for allowing him inside. I didn't really allow him inside. When he parked his car, I kind of just assumed that he wanted to sit and talk, because you can't really talk to someone during a movie date. So we did sit and talk in his car for a while. And then when I mentioned going inside, he was like, "Oh, I'll go with you." And I was just like, "Okay." Like, he just seemed really excited about it. I don't know. I was 19 and stupid. I did a lot of stupid things with men from Tinder. And no, I did not sleep with him. Yeah, that's that.
Let me say this too. When the date is over, the date is over. Okay, guys, just make that abundantly clear. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to shame her. I understand the situation must have been awkward. How he got into her place, I don't know how he was able to finesse that. But at the same time, given the fact that she is socially awkward, maybe she just kind of was rolling with the punches because she didn't want to be rude and all that. But this is the time that these times that we live in, ladies and germs. I don't care how socially awkward you are. I don't care how off or whatever. Literally, how nice you are, and you're scared about hurting that person's feelings. Hurt that person's feelings. Period. If you're done and the date is over, and you want to go into your own bed alone, you tell them, "Thank you. It's been real. Deuces." That's it. Just so you know. Just a quick reminder. Just saying. Because if it was a vibe that you were not catching, or you felt like you weren't talking to that person enough, so on and so forth, especially you're watching a movie, why would you let a person into your room or into your dorm room if you haven't even gotten a chance to really get to know who this person is? Now, I understand Tinder is weird like that. Let's keep it real. Tinder is very, very strange. Okay? You got people out here just saying, nice birth and hibs, and they get together and they just bang it out in the park. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's insane. Tinder is insane. Okay? I think it's extremely unhealthy, in my personal opinion, unless you're using it to try to find an actual relationship, an actual real healthy relationship. I think it's toxic as hell. That's just my personal opinion. Okay. But yes, a lot of people will go and do stupid things. Like she said a second ago, I've done a lot of stupid things on Tinder dates with people, so on and so forth, because it's all animalistic. It's all aesthetics. Oh, he's got the V in the hips and the such and such. He got abs. I just want to bang him. Hey, that's on you. But at the same time, if you're trying to find a real relationship or find a real person, I have yet to see. I've seen a few people, actually. I take that back. I've seen a few people get together through Tinder and actually have a substantial relationship. But a lot of them start solely on physical, because Tinder is that. Oh, nice birth and hips. Want to bang? And then you go and bang. Now, the other thing I want to say this is too, and this is to ladies and germs that are still out here dating and stuff. And maybe y'all still maybe you guys are new to the dating game, or maybe you're just getting that hitch back in your step in the dating game. Do not, I repeat, do not go on movie dates. It's the worst dates you could ever do. It's the stupidest thing you can ever do. Okay? It is the worst thing that you can ever do. Okay? Period. I don't recommend that at all. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that I'm a guru and I know these things, but how you going to have an actual conversation and get to know that person if you are out here watching a movie in a theater? You're not having a conversation. Y'all just basically showed up and you just paid, like, fellas, you just paid your date to just basically stare at a screen, not at you, and actually have a healthy conversation with them to get to know them. So it's ridiculous for people to sit here and do the movie dates for their first few dates. Wrong move. Very, very wrong move. I don't recommend it at all. Okay? So how can a dude go and automatically assume that he can just walk into that room, into that dorm room, and knock boots? Okay? While Knocked Up is playing in the background. It's just saying. Okay? But Rob Slack, hey, congratulations. But like I said, some people are lucky, some people are not. Okay. And hey, if you met somebody on Tinder, by all means, that's fantastic. But at the same time, all I've ever seen it as is it's a game of numbers. You're swiping left or right or whatever the hell it is, and you go on these dates, and most of the time y'all are, and you move on. That's just all I've seen. Okay, period. Knocked up with the birthing hips. I'm just saying. Okay, so let's continue on. I got a couple other videos too that I want us to check out.
So I don't remember exactly what pictures I had on Tinder, and I tried getting access to my Tinder account and I couldn't figure out what my login is, and I probably just deleted the account. But these are some pictures of what I looked like then.
Real quick, I just wanted to show you guys. This is the question that was in the beginning. Can we see the photos you had on your Tinder 7 years ago? Again, people are starting to, do the deep dives and try to figure out if she's being real or not. And of course, she's trying to show proof of those things. So let's continue.
I probably just deleted the account, but these are some pictures of what I looked like then. This is a selfie I took, and I probably use this one. Here is another selfie I took. I miss that jacket forever. This is a picture of me that I posted on every social media for whatever reason, because I thought I was so cute. But this is me in my McDonald's uniform from when I was at Penn State. This is exactly what I would have looked like when I went on the date with him, because this picture was taken only a couple days after. This is also me. This is one of my senior pictures. Thought I was hot shit, so definitely posted this everywhere. And another one of my senior pictures that I definitely posted everywhere. So there's that.
So this is what she looked like 7 years ago when she went on a date with Bryan Kohberger. Okay. Things happen. Things happen over time. But very interesting. Very, very interesting. And of course, people are talking ish on that as well. But we're not going to go into that negativity BS. We're going to look into this, though. Okay? And it says Tinder. And she didn't let him touch her? I don't think so. Like I said, the connection with Tinder and all that stuff is okay. Sorry, somebody just said crime and Crockett are my hyper focus. Crochet, I guess. My ex-husband commented on my childbearing hips early in our relationship. Dang, I should have known he was weird then. I'm done. I am done. But let's take a look at this piece here. And again, Tinder's notorious for like, nice shoes, want to bang type thing. Okay? So let's take a look.
This is a really weird take, especially coming from another woman. Just because you go on a date with someone from Tinder doesn't mean that you hook up. I've been on plenty of Tinder dates where I didn't hook up with anyone, so.
Again, that's very true. But obviously there's a stigma excuse me. But obviously there's a stigma attached to Tinder. Period. Yeah, like I said, nice shoes, want to bang. I mean, that's all it is. That's all it is. And I'm sorry for any person. I'm not trying to pass judgment on anything. By all means, hey, if that's how you meet and how you met someone that you found special enough to say I do, or special to let them move in and make room for their underwear in a drawer and give them space for their toothbrush in your bathroom, then hey, by all means, you know what I mean? Good on you, baby. Good on you. But Tinder is known for the banging, babies. It's for the banging. All right. But let's continue. There's more.
His behavior at the movies and in the car was totally normal. He was really polite to the employees, which is something I think most women take note of. He held doors open for me. Nothing really seemed off until we got back to my dorm and he parked his car. We were sitting and talking a while, still seemed normal, but then when I mentioned like going inside, that's when he kind of took a turn and he got like creepy and yeah, I mean, he was able to hold a conversation. He was quiet, but not shy. So like, I feel like I had to initiate a lot of the conversation, but he wasn't like soft spoken or anything.
So, of course, this question here says, would you mind sharing about his behavior at the movie and in the car? Always creepy, normal at all? Did he hold conversation? And obviously, she just answered all that right then and there. I mean, he was just soft spoken, nothing creepy esque, okay? Nothing super creepy, but he was just very soft spoken and very to himself. And again, he's so, like, from what we understand so far, he's socially awkward as well. So it was two socially awkward people on a date with each other. And he may have been more socially awkward than her. And maybe he didn't catch the clues that maybe she was giving him to basically say, like, it is time for you to go, to the point where she had to go run into the bathroom and act like she was sick, right? He didn't catch those normal social clues of, I'm not feeling you, bro. You need to go home. But let's continue. There's more.
This is a really weird take, especially coming from another woman.
Oh, whoops. Wrong one. I hit the wrong one. Sorry about that. Oops. Next one.
I am not at all trying to undermine the fact that Bryan was arrested and is under trial for killing these people. However, if a couple months ago someone lined up every single Tinder date I've been on and said to me, which one of these people do you think would end up being a murderer? Bryan would have not been my first or second choice.
Bruh, that's huge to me, because that says something about how he is as a person, hiding in plain sight, giving off certain vibes, how he is as a person, what his character is like, all that. I know that it says a lot about some of her other dates that she was on, because some guys just don't know still have no clue how to talk to a girl, how to properly go on a date, so on and so forth. And then again, same thing on the women's side. There's a lot of women that don't know proper etiquette, how to be a proper human being with to a guy, okay? Or how to let a guy know that they're not interested without being a jerk, or without doing something awkward like just letting it go, just keep going with the flow and all that. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things to learn about this here. A lot, okay? But let's continue.
And I feel like that says a lot about what people, specifically women, have to go through when meeting people online. Now, when I went on Tinder dates, I was 18, 19. I was young. I was stupid. I thought I was invincible. I did not take any safety precautions when going on dates with these people from Tinder that I did not know. And I think it's important that we talk about that. If the fact that Bryan is not my scariest Tinder date, I think that sends a message to people that they need to take precautions when they're going on dates. You never know who these people are and what they're capable of. I was so lucky that I was never hurt. I was never raped by anyone I went on a Tinder date with. However, it could have been me. I could have been the one hurt. I could have been killed. I could have been raped. And I did not take any precautions to prevent that from happening to me. So I am very fortunate that none of that happened to me.
Let me say this too, really quick. Yes, this is serious, y'all. I mean, obviously, this is not. Obviously, she's still alive. Obviously, nothing terrible happened to her, etc. But at the same time, this says a lot about these apps that we use, guys. We trust these apps like it's. We rely on these apps like it's air, like it's breathing, right? Some people who go, oh, I'm lonely. If you're hungry, let's just say this, you're hungry, you can pull up DoorDash or any of those other Grubhubs or whatever the hell it is, right? If you're feeling kind of horny, all right? If you're feeling kind of horny, baby, you can go and pull up Tinder or any of these other dating sites and go and get you some. But what's crazy is other people are on that site too. And some people are very, very dangerous. We hear all kinds of madness from people who are out here that are living their life, doing good, go on a Tinder date, and they never come back home in one piece. Or they go on a dating site date, okay, and they never come back. These stories are real and they're true. Shoot, Uber, Lyfts, all those things, when you hear an Uber ride from hell, all those things, those are very, very real. So I keep saying to every single person, men and women, both of you guys need to keep your head on a swivel, period. There are some really dangerous people out here that are luring people in, innocent people in, and taking their lives. Either because they just didn't like the way that they were turned down or whatever. We live in crazier times now. And just because you have a cell phone on you does not automatically mean that you're just safe because you're going to hit dial 911. No. We have to be smarter than that. We have to be quicker than that. Period. We do. And SA, yes, I did say moves like Jagger. Okay? Moves like Jagger. Okay? We got to be smarter than that. The world of courting has completely changed. It has. There really isn't courting anymore. Now it's instant gratification. Okay? We're not really getting to know each other anymore. We're just looking at the facade. We're looking at the face. We're looking at the attributes and going, wow, I want that. Not, do you want children? What's your favorite color? Stuff like that. It's sad, but it's very, very true. And it's getting dangerous out here, okay? Because people don't know how to act. Period. People don't know how to act right. And that's the sad part. Let's continue.
So my original point of my original video was just to dispel any rumors that I was his ex-girlfriend and that I know things that apparently I'm not telling, which is untrue. However, I think I'm reverting the point to being that you never know who you're meeting up with when you're meeting someone online. So taking precautions is the simplest thing that you can do to keep yourself safe. And I hope some teenage girl that was like me, that thinks she's invincible, sees this, sees my story, and realizes the importance of keeping herself safe.
Exactly. There's a real importance on staying smart out here, guys. I don't care how hot you are, how cute you are, how athletic you are. I don't care. Because there's someone out here that will be much more cunning. It takes 2 seconds to take somebody's life. We already just saw 4 people in Idaho lose their lives in less than 30 minutes, less than 20 minutes. Real talk. We have to be extremely safe out here. A lot of people think, oh, because I'm some hot girl, blah, 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 and all the dudes want me. That's exactly the reason why to be more cautious out here in these streets, y'all. Same thing with dudes. It doesn't matter. Just because you're a jock and you're big and you're built and you can bench 400 pounds does not mean that you're impenetrable. Does not mean that you're invincible. We have to be safe out here because people are very, very, very smart. Very, very fast and very, very cunning. We have to be smart out here in these streets. Now, Ashley Oaks told me that there was an interview that was done on News Nation. So I just got the interview. So I'm going to pull that up.
All right.
Yeah. So Cuomo. Wow. I haven't seen Cuomo in a while, y'all. So and I have not said that word in a long time. So I guess Cuomo interviewed Haley on his show, which is also very, very interesting. And the thing is I keep wondering, like, stuff like this. Why is she on everything right now? Literally, she's on Inside Edition. I just saw a video about her on Inside Edition. I'm seeing all these things. I'm going, why is she on this stuff? Now, I can see why some people might be looking at this and thinking, oh, this is all clout chasing. But maybe by her telling her story, she's helping us understand a little bit more about Bryan as well. But it is interesting that she is everywhere right now. But, this will only last for like 2 seconds. So let's take a look at this. Cuomo. Who would have thunk?
And I see proof. I see reason to speculate about the nature of the character. That's what I want to talk. Please say this is the guy. We have to figure it out. That takes me to our first guest. So let's go to the introduction for the first guest. This is interesting, okay? We're going to meet someone who says, I knew him several years ago. We went on a date. And she had a very memorable experience with him. Nothing tragic, but Haley Willett. She's on the screen right now. Haley, thank you very much. I appreciate this. Gutsy move, wanting to come forward and talk about this. You're going to expose yourself to the mob on social media. I suggest you stay off it for a day or so. But thank you for doing this. Yeah. And let's start with the basic. How sure are you that Bryan Kohberger is the same person that you went on the date with some years ago?
100%.
Because?
He just has a very memorable face, and I'm sure it's him. I remembered as soon as I saw him.
And the name is fairly memorable also, and he was going by Bryan Kohberger then as well?
Yeah.
So tell me, what is the big takeaway for you about what you remember about this young man?
The big takeaway is that he seemed completely normal until we got back to my dorm, and then he got kind of pushy.
All right, now let's try to feel this out because you've been on plenty of dates, I'm sure, and it's not unusual for somebody to behave in a way you don't like. But this now matters to you. You say that there was a moment where he was touching you, not in a creepy way, but he was definitely touching you, and you brought it up, and that's when things changed. How so?
Yeah, he was touching me, and I just asked, "Why are you touching me?" And he immediately got very serious, and he said I didn't, and I just was like, "Okay, but you are touching me." And he was like, "No, I'm not touching you," and he just got very defensive about it. So I just let it go after that. But yeah, it was very weird.
Now, people can get defensive, but everything that you've learned since made you see this through a little bit of a different lens. Explain that to me.
Yeah, exactly. This is a date I definitely told my friends about, just because it was a little weird, and especially his last comment to me. However, I haven't really thought about it until I saw his face again, and it made me look at it like, wow, he really could have hurt me, or anyone really.
And what did he tell you about himself that you remember?
We just had a lot of small talk. I remember we talked about the fact that we were both psych majors at the time. So I don't really remember any specific conversations or any specific details about them, but it was all very normal.
How shocked are you to see him doing a perp walk now, connected to such a heinous set of murders, at least temporarily, until police make the case?
It scares me because I was very young and dumb, and I didn't think twice about having anyone, know who I was meeting up with, where I was going, what I was doing, and it all could have ended very differently. And that makes me worried for other young women that, they think they're invincible, and don't think twice about, telling someone where they're going or who they're going on a date with.
Well,
Hey, let me say this really quick. I think it's incredibly important that we need to have more conversations between men and women on the understanding of things that go on behind closed doors, behind the bedroom, behind the bedroom door. There's a lot of misunderstandings, and I think that there's certain cultures that are out here, attitudes, way things people think should be, and way things people think shouldn't be, are out here in these streets that are making people do some really terrible and bad, make people, or have people make very bad decisions out here in these streets. Now, her talking about this, yes, she needs to speak her side and tell her story. Obviously, she feels emboldened to say something right now because she wants to save that next person. There's another BK out here in these streets, y'all. He's not the only one. Clearly, we already know a bunch of other monsters that have been locked up for doing unthinkable things because a girl or a person trusted that monster, and that monster took advantage of their vulnerability. So I get her coming out and speaking about these things for sure. Absolutely. Okay. But I also do think that it's very important to talk about those things of that understanding that, and I know this sounds like a broken record, but that no means no. How about that? And that it's okay for women to actually say that out loud, or for people to say that. It's okay to say that out loud, ladies and gentlemen. to that person. Regardless if you're going to hurt their feelings or not, it's okay to speak those things out loud. And then also the people that are on the receiving end of that word no, they need to realize, all right, they said no. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I misread the signals. That's it. And you go on your merry little way. And maybe you guys go on another date because that one was successful. And you were being a kind person that was listening to them say, no, not right now. Now, the reason why I say this, because it's a little bit of another story that I'm thinking about talking about tomorrow. And of course, I'm asking you guys about this and wanting to hear your opinions about this. But something's been blowing up all over Twitter all day for like the past couple days, actually. And this all revolves around a content creator by the name of Andrew Callahan. Now, he has been in some serious trouble because he's facing multiple allegations of SA. Now, I've been thinking about doing this and bringing this up as a topic and talking about this with you guys further because he's more of he's like a documentarian / YouTube content creator, etc. He is mainly on the political side of things. But lately, just recently, a lot of women have stepped forward with multiple allegations thrown right at Andrew Callahan. And so, of course, it's a conversation that I definitely want to have more with you guys. Now, I know this has nothing to do with BK. I know this has nothing to do with the true crime realm of things, but this is a conversation that needs to be had. And this is the reason why I brought up this conversation, this one, bringing, hearing Haley's point of view, hearing Haley's conversation. It is scary stuff to realize that this is a person that she went on a date with 7 years ago. And he did not catch the signals of, I just want to go home and I need you to go to your respective home as well. I'm not interested. Go home. He didn't catch those signs at all. And that's sad. All right. So it's something I wanted to bring on and talk to you guys about. I know maybe some of you guys don't know who Andrew Callahan is and all that, but, it's interesting that, we had the Andrew Tate situation go on recently. Now we got Andrew Callahan, and he's nowhere near an Andrew Tate at all. He's just more of a political commentator on, within the realm of politics and all that. But he's getting in some serious trouble. And I definitely want to talk about this. And it's, again, another conversation of no meaning no, not forcing yourself upon a person, right? Not wearing them down, because that's another form of R. That's another form of SA. And that is a conversation that needs to be had. So it's something I've been thinking about bringing up to you guys, see if you guys are interested in talking about that as well. So I'm just asking you guys that. Hit the number 2 to let me know if that's something that you're interested in talking about and hearing about tomorrow morning, because that's something I'm thinking about doing tomorrow. Obviously, there won't be anything new revolving around BK unless something pops off overnight. But I definitely want to talk to you guys about this and just dive into it a little bit more. It's going to be more of a serious topic for sure. But I think that's what I'm planning on doing first thing tomorrow morning. But there's another video here I wanted to show you guys. And this is still within the BK conversation, so don't go anywhere. This is still in the BK conversation. A criminologist puts in their 2 cents about Bryan Kohberger. This is completely left turn. This is not on the Tinder date conversation anymore. I am going to circle back to that, but I did want to show you guys this video because I thought this was intriguing to see. Okay, so let's take a look at this one here.
Well, we know that suspect Bryan Kohberger was studying criminal justice. So joining us now with some expertise in this field, criminologist Dr. Debbie Goodman. Debbie, thank you for coming back to Rush Hour. We last spoke with you about 6 weeks ago. That was also about 10 days after these brutal murders. You laid out a profile of who you believed this suspect would turn out to be. Let's listen.
I have no doubt that this killer, and I'll say a singular killer, I don't believe there is more than one murderer involved in this case, but this person, without a doubt, has planned this. It was premeditated, it was willful, it was with malice. I think this individual targeted our victims and is most likely in that circle of a fellow student. I think it's an Anglo male when we go with profiling here statistically and through our data and research. And this is somebody who could also be a fellow student among these other students.
All right. So, Debbie, you heard it right there. How would you rate your assessment now that Kohberger is in custody and facing charges?
Certainly. Well, thank you, Nicole, for the opportunity to, again, talk about this case. You know, I think there's alignment from the earlier conversations through today, and I have no doubt that we're looking at the 4 counts of first-degree murder because of those 4 elements that we mentioned them and revisit now, and that would be, again, the planning, the premeditation, it was done willfully, and it was done with malice. A few other alignment points, let's say, would have been the status of being a fellow student, albeit not directly at the university, but the thought pattern, of course, would be within the age demographic of the students. And that's what I always look for within the data analytics, these hundreds of cases with which I've been involved for the commentary, the analysis, the discussion, and we do see the patterns. So the age piece I felt was important because there would have been some level of connectivity, connecting the dots within the framework of victimology. Who are our victims? We knew and understood that all 4 of whom, 20 to 21, and so the likelihood of the killer also being within an age demographic with our victims, I thought was really with a high probability.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just talked to Brian Enton there. We know that status hearing is expected Thursday. We do expect Kohberger to enter a plea. What do you expect him to plead?
Right. So I expect him to plead not guilty, Nicole, and to our viewers, and here's why. I feel with certainty that this is an individual who is grandiose, who is narcissistic, arrogant, manipulative, and I'll throw in another classification, and that is hedonistic. You see, I maintain that this is a hedonistic killer. Why? Because that would be an individual who derives pleasure from the atrocity, literally from beginning, middle to end. So the beginning of any type of crime of this magnitude, mass murder, 4 victims, starts with the planning. So without a doubt, he planned it to the level and layer that he decided. All of the selectivity of the specific victims, selecting the knife, the day, the time, the location, all of that was planned. He derived great pleasure there. Now we move into, the tragedy and the atrocity of the commission of the crime itself. These hedonistic killers, they have such pleasure of the commission of the act itself. And now here we are, at least moving into this 3rd category, whereby I have no doubt he is absolutely enjoying the spotlight. The whole world is talking about him. He is enjoying this phase of the process.
Yeah, and that's the part that, is so unfortunate because, of course, there is so much interest in all of this. Dr. Debbie Goodman, thank you.
So he apparently is enjoying this. Like he's getting off on this whole thing. And let me just say this. I mean, I think that, I think he is. I think he's enjoying this entire thing. Okay? I really do think he's enjoying this entire doggone thing. Let's be real. He wouldn't have done all this stuff. He's now going to be going down in history as a name. People will forever know his name. He may not have, he may have thought that he created the perfect crime, but he obviously got his ass caught. But of course, I do think that he's, getting off on this. Of course. I'm sure he's loving every minute of this. Abso-freaking-lutely. Loving every single last minute of this. And that's messed up. Very, very messed up. And of course he was going to sit there and plead not guilty because he still thinks he can get off on this. He really thinks he can get away with it. And that's the really messed up part about this whole thing too. So this is all an ego trip for him, for sure. And he's trying to follow the same things as some of these other known monsters. And he's trying to follow that in suit. It's really crazy, y'all. But I want to get to some of your super chats. I didn't get a chance to get to those. So let me get to those really, really quick. And again, I appreciate all you guys' comments, super chats, your support, etc. Real quick, got a brand new line of hoodies and tracksuits from on pascalmerch.com. So I showed you guys earlier today the bucket hats and these brand new vibrant singles. They're in various colors, all just one color and all that. So you can get this one, like this one right here. It is available right now on pascalmerch.com. So go and check out that if you can. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. We got some really great stuff. Bucket hats, these, and a whole lot of other things as well. So go over to pascalmerch.com and check out these brand new vibrant singles that are on the page, like right there. As soon as you open it up, bang, it's right there in your face. All right. So that would be greatly appreciated. But let me get into some of these super chats and super stickers real quick. There was some of them are from a little while ago. So I'm just scrolling through to get them all on and popping. Medusa, thank you so much for the $20 super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. And I guess the question to you guys is, what do you guys think, aside from that, the criminologist speaking out and saying, oh, he's just, he's probably getting off on this and he's loving every minute of this and all the attention, blah, blah, blah. What do you say? What are your thoughts on the Tinder date girl, on her account with the Tinder date and all that? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's fake? Let me know. Comment in the family chat. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Michelle Woods, what's up? Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I went on a movie date after high school with a friend of a friend. I wanted to see a thriller called The Invisible, but somehow he convinced me to see Spider-Man. I should have known the date was off to a bad start. Yeah, that's a tough one. How did he convince you? How did he convince you to go see? How did he convince you to go see Spider-Man instead of The Invisible? That's weird. How did he do that? But yeah, that's doomed for a disaster. I get it, kids going on dates. Sometimes the only way you can go on a date is actually going to the movies with your friends, and you do like this group date type thing, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. But when you're grown, like grown guys, yo, if you're going to have your first few dates, don't go see a movie. That's a disaster. You're never going to talk to her. You're never going to talk to him. It's a waste of time. And then the movie's over and it's like, thanks. It's been real. You basically shared an arm rest with that person, and that's it. Maybe a maybe a bucket of popcorn, and maybe some of your Twizzlers and your Milk Duds. But that's about it. You're not having a conversation. Definitely not during the doggone movie. There it is. Aaron, thank you so much for the 14 Canadian. I appreciate it. I wonder if anyone else will come forward. I do think it's curious that there's no history of any girlfriends to date. I exactly love the show. Thank you. Love you too. Yes. I want to know that too. Why? And that's the thing though. Let's be real. Like I said earlier, the reason why I feel that a lot of girls are not stepping forward and saying anything is because they're probably worried about people attacking them, ripping them apart, victim shaming them, etc. Well, shaming them, trying to embarrass them, so on and so forth. Let me tell you, the videos that I show you on TikTok from Haley, that is just the tip of the iceberg of the amount of videos that she has done in response to people just talking ish on her appearance, who she is, calling her all kinds of names. It's sad. And I'll tell you this, I don't blame these girls for not stepping forward. It's a scary thing. People are savages out here in these internet streets. Some of y'all have no heart. Okay? Some of y'all have no heart. All right? Period. And Medusa, absolutely, I completely 110% agree. Some of the best moderators, they are bomb. Okay? They are bomb. They are bomb. Yes, they are the bomb. Okay? Thebomb.com. Dagnabbit. All right? But again, that's the reason why you're not going to hear many best friends and people step forward and put their faces and their avatar out there, because everyone's going to deep dive and make their lives a living bloody hell. And that's the sad part of it all, because of how psychotic it's gone out here. It's become a feeding frenzy, and any piece of information that comes out, everyone goes nuts on it and just tries to ruin that person's life. For what reason? For what reason? Because they stepped forward and told their side of sharing a meal with now an alleged monster. They're not the ones that are going to be standing in trial. He is. And that's the problem. It's frustrating, okay? It's frustrating. And that's the other thing, Shelly. We don't know. Did he even have a girlfriend? We don't even know. We don't even know if he had a relationship beforehand and then the relationship broke up like, a few weeks before. We haven't heard nothing. The only person that has stepped out is a girl that dated him 7 years ago and went on one date. And from what she says on her TikTok videos is that he was an actual gentleman. He was a nice guy. He was awkward, but he was a gentleman. That's it. And he just couldn't take the social clues of you need to take your ass home. That's it. That's it. But it does give us a little bit more insight on who he was at least 7 years ago. And it does make you wonder what made him change. If this is allegedly him, and obviously all evidence that they have so far, all roads are pointing towards him, okay? So it does make you wonder, what was it that made him snap? What made him so angry? What made him do what he did? Okay? Dominique Edwards said, I wouldn't come forward. What if it was the wrong Bryan? I mean, it was 7 years ago. I could be remembering wrong. Yeah. I mean, shoot, especially if you've gone on multiple dates. She even said it in one of the videos. She broke up with her her future husband, and she went on a bunch of Tinder dates, and he happened to be in the handful of those Tinder dates, right? What are the chances of her mistaking him for somebody else? I mean, it might be slim to none, but at the same time, it's 7 years ago, y'all. 7. Okay? Memories can be misconstrued, and in reality you were wearing a green shirt, but in your memory you were wearing a blue shirt. You see what I'm saying? Things can get altered. 7 years. It's a long time to have that memory in the back of your mind. It could have been they were vibing and she let him in the crib, and then things got awkward, and then she did the whole thing faking it. You never know. You know what I'm saying? Aaron, again, thank you so much for the 7 Canadian. I should say it would be very difficult if she did come forward. Wow. She would be under so much pressure, as you mentioned. Absolutely. Completely. Totally under an immense amount of pressure, because everyone would be judging, be like, checking her out like, she ain't even got them birthing hips, though. That's what's going to happen. If some girl goes, yeah, I dated him for a while, they're going to be like, oh, my God, why would you date him? And then, they're going to be doxing her and calling her and emailing her and calling her all kinds of dirty words that she doesn't even deserve. All because she don't have birthing hips. You know what I'm saying? That's savage, y'all. That's savage. But anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here, being a part of the conversation. Real talk. It does really mean a lot. Let me just say this too. This is just one story from one woman that met him in a period in his life where he was just a regular, from what we understand, a regular average guy. God knows what happened between the 7 years ago on that date to the day that he went in and did those unthinkables, right? Allegedly did those tragic things to those 4 young students. A lot can happen in 7 years. People can change quickly. People can really change quickly. So I do appreciate this young woman for stepping forward and telling her side of her experience with him. It gives us something, but I wish we had more from something more up to date, like few weeks before, someone who knew him during the time of all this, that was talking to him, etc. I want to hear what's going on with the parents, what the parents have to say about this and all that. That's what I want to hear as well. Okay. But we'll see. Okay. We'll see what happens here. Alexica just said, Pascal, you got to remember, you will not forget a face or look like that. That's true. Sorry, I'm like bumping my face into the microphone, but that's very, very true as well. You are absolutely 110% right. It's a good point. Something like that, you never forget. True. But other details can be just a little wonky, 7 years is a long time, guys. Okay, especially when it's not something traumatic. If it was something traumatic, I bet you, you're going to remember everything, every little nuance, every little detail. But outside of that, maybe not. But anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all. Okay, I appreciate that. Manta Core, thank you so much. Yeah, you know what I mean? I appreciate it. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Go check it out. We got these available right now on pascalmerch.com. I make them with my own 2 hands. So please go. These are authentic, baby. Okay? So go. Get out there. Check out Beautiful Beef Collections. I'll make sure I pin it to the top of the chat really quick. Beautiful Beef Collections or pascalmerch.com. Click on that link, check it out, be a part of it. That would really mean a lot. Don't forget to hit that like button down below, crush it, make it scream out your name. And of course, do not forget to crush that subscribe button, all right? Support in any way you can. That would really, really mean a lot. It'd be great to have you part of the Pascal Show family. Anyway, it's time to get going. I appreciate all y'all. Have a beautiful, wonderful, and relaxing rest of your night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. See you guys soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye. I'm sorry. Birth and hips. See ya.